Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday morning meditation at the Temple of Enlightenment in the Bronx. So, we have here participants in person, and you are on the line. So, today is the actually Buddha's birthday, Enlightenment Day, and passing away. These all important three things happen in the full moon day in May. Then every year, the May full moon day is very important, very significant to Buddhist world. Then whole Buddhist world celebrate this Vesak day. Vesak is the name of the full moon day, the month of May in Pali. Vesak in Pali, in Sanskrit Vaisakya. So this Vesak in Pali, then everybody mentions Vesak. In Sri Lanka, especially we call it Vesak, Vesak day. So this Vesak day is important because that's the full moon day, the Buddha's birth happened, and enlightenment of the Buddha so also happened in the Vesak day. And Buddha's attain to Parinibbana, it's also happened in the full moon day in May. Then these three things happen in the same full moon day. Um, so the whole Buddhist world celebrate this Vesak day. And today we're going to meditate, and also today evening we're going to celebrate Buddha's Vesak day by doing meditation, learning Dhamma, discussing Dhamma, and offering Buddha flowers, incense, and candles. So you are welcome if you are around here to join us. Why Buddha is so uh, special into this world? What's the difference of Buddha and all other leaders, religious leaders? And we have to understand what's this difference of the Buddha and all other leaders, religious leaders. And we have to understand what's the difference of Buddhism and all other religions. If we follow Buddha's teaching to some the purpose, then we have to understand why we are doing that. There are so many believings, followings, leaders, teachers. All among them, Buddhism and Buddha and Buddhism is special. It is because Buddha is not a messenger and he is a founder. Buddha is not taking and bringing message here. And Buddha found himself freedom, liberation, enlightenment, awakening. And Buddha found it himself. So that's the one of special of the Buddha. There are 9 qualities of the Buddha, all are very special and significant, uh, not justifying to anyone else. Those all qualities is Buddha's qualities because of his extraordinary finding, searching, investigating, awakening. So dedication for his own dedication, you know how he dedicate to attain to enlightenment, to Buddhahood. He practiced 6 years and self-mortification. He practiced self-mortification until he almost to die. That's the we can imagine who nobody can sacrifice like that, and he did for awakening himself to realize himself. Then finally he found the middle path. Thus, the another significant of Buddhism is a middle path, not a standing even in one side, yes or no, exist or non-exist. The Buddhism is not a standing on in even in the any side. It is a stand in the middle. For everything, there's a reason. So the reasoning, when reason exists, the fruit exists. There are no reasons, there are no fruit. Arising of reasoning, the arising of fruit. Ceasing of the reasoning is the ceasing of the fruit. This is what is Buddhist major teaching. Not this whole about to understand, realize. So it is all talk about the Buddhism talk about the wisdom. Wisdom is realization, and the Buddhist teaching focus about the sila, morality, and samadhi, concentration, and the panya, wisdom. So then Buddhism is the very important to the world, this world. It is all talk about the realization, liberation, freedom by achieving by himself, oneself. And also, the most important thing is the Buddhist teaching talking about the kindness, compassion, and forgiveness. So we have to be kind and forgive and love, metta, without any reason. There are no reason to be kind. There are no expectation to be kind or do metta. So it is for him own purification. It is because for his own peace, the purification, purifying the mind is the most important thing. So we can liberate whole world. So nobody can liberate whole world. The Buddha couldn't do it himself, and anyone else didn't do so far. So the liberation, freedom, purifying, it is his own responsibility. This is what is Buddha's message into the world. So that's why Buddhism is so important and significant. This individual freedom is focus individual freedom. So then anyone there are no nothing to have faith or believe in, and just need to dedication to practice. Um, so the Buddhist meditation and Buddhist practice is also called dana, sila, bhavana, generosity. Begin with the generosity, and the sila is the morality, practice in morality, and then bhavana is meditation. So this Buddhist major practice is the three ways we practice. We practice begin with generosity, and keep practicing concentration, uh, practicing restraining senses, guarding, protecting, developing, and stay away from evil, uh, and then practice meditation to develop mind and wisdom. So, but Buddhist meditation even is special because of the vipassana. Vipassana is the most important teaching of the Buddha. That's what is make himself Buddha, and this is what is make oneself enlightened one, Arahant. So the Vipassana is the most significant teaching in Buddhism, and Buddhism is special because of Vipassana. Even Buddha learned the all other samatha meditation, concentration meditation from other teachers in the those days. And Buddha found himself and Buddha explored the world the vipassana meditation technique, practicing vipassana. That's the way to liberation, freedom, enlightenment, awakening. So now today we are going to practice a little bit of vipassana meditation. Vipassana meditation is focusing to understand the temporary nature and also unsatisfactoriness. By attaching temporary things is not make satisfaction. It's not make satisfaction because it is temporary. Then if it is temporary, how could it be a permanent satisfaction? So there are no permanent satisfaction because everything's impermanent. Whatever happiness and pleasant we have experienced through the impermanent thing, the happiness is supposed to be impermanent. So when the meditating and understanding about impermanent nature, then we are understanding about the temporary satisfaction. It means non-satisfaction. Then the most important thing in the understanding anatta is a non-self. So there are no self because everything is impermanent and unsatisfactory. What are the impermanent and unsatisfactory? This panchakanda, five aggregates: the form, feeling, perception, volitions, and consciousness. These all aggregates, skandhas, these all skandhas co-sentient being. And these skandhas exist because of reasons, and they all reasons are impermanent. Then we have then there are no satisfaction, permanent satisfaction. Then also it is not self or eternal identity because of impermanent and unsatisfactory. So understanding these three things called anicca, dukkha, anatta. This understanding, this anicca, dukkha, anatta is the way to awakening to enlightenment. So now we are going to meditate to understand this impermanent nature, and you simply focus your whole experience in your life, whatever you see through the eyes, you hear through the ears, and you smell through the nose, and taste through the tongue, and the tactiles you have, touches you have through the body. So, and the thoughts come to the mind, and simply understand to meditate to understand the temporary nature of all experiences. So gently close your eyes and keep your back straight, and then take deep breath and slowly let go. Take again deep breath and slowly let go. And again deep breath and listen to the sound. So focus your top of the head, relax your head and your forehead, and your face. Keep a smile on your face. We're going to practice very awakening meditation practice technique. We're going to practice enlightening meditation practice technique. We're going to practice. So keep a smile on the face and relax your face with your shoulders and drop your shoulders and relax your arms and your chest and relax your stomach, legs and feet. Imagine your sitting position. Focus into yourself. Just focus your breath. Move back and forth. We breathe temporary. Every breath is impermanent. What is the breath we take in is not the same breath we are leaving. And whatever breath we relieve and leave, and it is not the same breath we are taking back. That breath is temporary, and also we breathe temporary, not forever. One day we will stop breathing. So, breath, it means our life, your life. It is impermanent and temporary. It is impermanent because it constantly change. Not the same breath we take in and make it out. Try to find out yourself. Keep focusing, 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 meditating, meditating to find out that impermanent nature. For example, if you begin from the head, from the hair to feet, this all are impermanent. Hair is grow gray and loose. This whole body, including everything, is impermanent and impermanent, subject to change. So then all other life experience. Find out yourself to understand this impermanent nature. So we simply meditate. Attached to this impermanent thing is the stress, is the pain, and it's this suffering. Because that we try to find out pleasure through that impermanent thing. Whatever pleasure, happiness we experience, when that things become change, and then pleasant become changed to non-pleasant to unpleasant, happiness become changed to suffering, because everything is impermanent. Then attached to this impermanent thing is the stress. So then how could we free attachment, free bondage? So just understand everything's impermanent, temporary, and that attached to this impermanent, temporary thing is the suffering or pain or unsatisfactoriness. Then simply understand everything is impermanent. Happiness, pleasant, was also impermanent and temporary. And everything impermanent, temporary, unsatisfactory, and not eternal entity. So then simply focus about the freedom. What is the freedom? What is the liberation? Freedom is detachment. Freedom is understanding that impermanent nature and unsatisfactoriness and non-self. Then what is impermanent, unsatisfactory and non-self? Then why attached? Attached to these impermanent, unsatisfactory things and stress. So detachment from them is the freedom. Detachment is the freedom. Freed from that strong attachment, craving, desire. Freed from that delusion. Delusion is not understanding this impermanent nature and unsatisfactoriness. Delusion is not understanding non-self. And delusion shows things as permanent and pleasant, satisfaction, and entity, eternal entity. So freed from that delusion by understanding this impermanent things. And then detachment, they let the things be as it is, accept the things as they are, and living happily and peacefully with these things and with clear understanding. It's the freedom. Keep a smile on the face, then simply consider as they really are. Now you're good with anything, with any condition, because you understand the reality. Then you understand things as they really are. So now you kind of enlighten, awakening, because you see the reality. Now bond, strong attachment. So whatever happened, you see it clearly, understand it clearly. Everything is temporary. Pleasant happiness is freedom, detachment. So now you think, consider. Now you are happy and you are safe and secure. There are no danger. It's because you understand the things as they are. The whatever happen, you manage yourself to remain in peace and happiness. Because everything's impermanent, you know that, and trying to and chasing happiness and pleasant from those things is also impermanent. So whatever happen, you flow with that, accept as they are. So then you save. You remain in peace. Everything's impermanent, temporary. So detachment is the happiness and freedom. So no matter whatever happen, this whole world is miserable things happening in the world. Miserable thing happening in myself, into me, to me, and to the world. So whatever it is pleasant or unpleasant thing happen, but you understand it's impermanent. It is impermanent. Then you save. Then you happy. Keep a smile on the face and simply consider everything's impermanent, temporary. Detachment is the freedom, happiness. So we do have responsibilities and we care very well the responsibilities as our duties as a husband, wife, mother and father, brother and sister, whatever your position, and we take care of our responsibilities. We have this is our good great job we have to do. But whatever happen, whatever position you are, but you simply understand it is temporary, impermanent. So now you say, keep a smile. Everything's impermanent and temporary. Nothing to worry, nothing to sad, nothing to be crazy, nothing to be excited. Stay in middle, maintain your balance, then you're happy. You're safe. So simply consider we grow old, it is our nature. We get sick, it is also our nature, nothing to worry. And we lose our dearest ones, and maybe dearest ones could change, become enemies. It is impermanent too, and this is nature. Enemies become pleasant and friends, this is the nature. And we lose whatever we have, we possess, is the nature. We sorrow, it is the nature because we attached. We grieve, it is because the attachment. We cry, we sad. So this is the reality of the life, and whatever happened in the life, pleasant or unpleasant things come to us. You remain, your mind, your peace, and you understand the reality and nature of the world and nature of yourself. Whatever our parents went through and we are going through, whatever we are going through and our kids going through, our friends going through, our relatives going through, neighbors and whole world going through, we all going through. Now I ring the bell. Okay, slowly open your eyes and stretch out. Okay, take a break for minutes. If you have any questions before we start our discussion, You good? So, are you ready to discussion? Okay. So, let's talk about the things I didn't pick up a sutta to talk about today. I, ju- I, I thought to talk about the Buddha because of this Vesak day and good to know about Buddha, right? It's good to know about Buddha. What is the background of the Buddha? You all know, right? Mm, yeah. So this is the year of the Buddha's passed away, 2566. 2566 years. This is the Vesak day of passing away, after his passing away. Buddha passed away 2566 years ago. And his born, his birth is going to even more another 80 years because Buddha passed away after when he was 80 years old. In Buddhist years come from the after his passing away. The Christian years come from the birth of the Jesus. A Buddhist year come from the Nibbana of the Buddha, attaining Nibbana, passing away of the Nibbana, Buddha. So then Buddha was born in the ancient India, in the Kapilavatthu, the Sakya clan, in the kingdom, Sakya kingdom, and Buddha born to uh, Suddhodana and Mahamaya as his parents, right? You know, do you know Kilaya? You know the parents of the Buddha? Yeah, Buddha. The Buddha's parents is the Suddhodana is the king and mother of the Mahamaya, right? So this his mother passed away after 7 days later of birth. Siddhartha is the name. Uh, this after Siddhartha's birth, and the 7 days later of his birth, his mother passed away. Then the king Suddhodana married the sister of the Mahamaya. Her name is Pajapati, and then Pajapati is the sister of the Mahamaya. Then then she took care of the Siddhartha. How he could get that Siddhartha? After his birth, uh, few weeks later, then here the king Suddhodana invited the various scholars, wise people. Then all came, according to this story, all came 108 of them, and all scholars, wise ones, to give him a name. and 8 of them very special and very educated. The youngest of that 8 is the name Kondanya. And those 8 people recommend, actually suggest, he is going to be a monarch or he is going to be a Buddha. If he stay at home and he will become monarch, if he leave home and he become Buddha. The youngest one of that 8 is Kondanya, and he said exactly, this one not remain in home, this one will leave the home and will become Buddha, exactly, will become Buddha, definitely will become Buddha. And he said that his name is Kondanya. Then you're supposed to remember Kondanya. Kondanya is the one of 5 ascetics. Okay, this is the story. Then the Prince Siddhartha, and he got a name. They actually, the Siddhartha is the name that wise people gave to him. This meaning of Siddhartha is the happening. Siddha means happening, become. Atta means the benefits, beneficial things, benevolence. So beneficials, happening beneficials to the world, blessing to the world, benefits to the world. This is what it means Siddhartha. In Siddhartha in Pali, in Sanskrit called Siddhartha. So his born on the earth is benefits to all sentient beings. This is what is mean of his name, Siddhartha. Making uh, benefits to the sentient beings on the world, on the earth. So that sorry, Saromitra, Saromitra, Saromitra is his teacher, and he learned from the Saromitra. Then when he was 16 years old, Siddhartha was 16 years old, and then he finished his education. He's a very clever one. Siddhartha is a very clever one, and he finished all education when he was 16. He's very good at with learning. He's wise. Then he got married when he was 16. He married to, anyone remember? Siddhartha married to,
Yashodhara?
yeah, Siddhartha married to Yashodhara, another prince, another princess, actually, princess Yashodhara. Yashodhara's father is the Super Buddha, and Yashodhara's mother is the Pamita. Pamita is the sister of Suddhodana. They are nephews and niece. Suddhodana has the four brothers and 2 sisters. The Suddhodana is the Prince Siddhartha's father, and Siddhartha has 4 uncles. It's called Sukhodana, uh, Sukhodana, Dhotodana, Amitodana, Amita, and Pamita. There's 2 aunties. So Siddhartha has 2 aunties, Amita and Pamita. Pamita is the mother of Yashodhara. They are cousins, right? Yashodhara and Siddhartha. So Shuddhodana has the four uncles: the Dhotodana, Sukhodana, Amitodana, and then Amita and Pamita. So Pamita is the Yashodhara's mother. Amita is another auntie. You know Anand, Venerable Anand. Anand is the son of the Amita. Ananda is the treasurer of the Buddhist teaching. Ananda, the attendant of the Buddha, who took care of the Buddha, Ananda. Anand is the son of the Amitabh. So then the Pajapati got married to Dodana after passing away of the Mahamaya, and the Pajapati gave a born to two children, Nanda and Rupananda. So they all become monks later. So then Siddhartha got married in 16 years old with Yasodhara and gave a son to give a birth to a son called Rahula. So Siddhartha was one day when he going to play in the garden and he saw four signs. I think he have seen earlier too, but it suddenly came into his mind when he see an old man and sick person and dead person, and it came to his mind everybody getting grow old, getting sick and die. No matter how rich you are, how educated you are, how whatever position you are, but you grow old, get sick, and die. Then what's the purpose of life? What's the final destination of the life? This is what is no matter you are a king or homeless, no matter you are a king, queens, or whoever, but your nature is grow old, get sick, and die. So there must be a purpose in life. There must be a kind of achievement of life. So he was keep thinking about that. And he's a wise person, and then he was considering this reality of the life, this reality, nature of the life. And also he saw ascetic. He saw ascetic. Then he thought it's better to become ascetic. It's better to live in without attachment. It's better to live in free because this life is miserable. Everything is impermanent, temporary. So there are no satisfaction, permanent satisfaction. So then he thought to find out the permanent satisfaction, freedom, liberation. And also he tried to find out the reality, to understand reality. It's called King Satya. And Siddhartha was searching what is truth. King Satya Gavesi, what is truth? King Kusala Gavesi, what is wholesome? And that's what is what he keep searching for. Then he finally renounced the home. He renunciated. He renunciated at the daytime while his family members crying. He renunciated home house while his wife Yasodhara crying, while his father crying, while his stepmother crying, and whole family members crying, and he left the house. This is how the suttas explain. But I don't know in Sri Lanka, and we believe and we learned he renunciated at night and secretly. I don't know how it came. Maybe it come from the commentary. Um, but suttas explain he renunciated at the daytime while everybody crying. So there he renunciated and spent 6 years. He became a homeless wanderer and he renunciated the royal life luxurious life, and he had three special houses to live in the different season, in the rainy season, in the winter season, in the summer season. And the king Suddhodana built for him three palaces, and he lived in three palaces in different season, and he had a very luxurious life. But now he become a homeless person. He dedicated, sacrificed his whole luxurious life, and he got the clay ball, went to home, collect food, sat down under a tree or in a cave, and spent and sleep under trees, and slept in the caves in the open area. He's not home. He doesn't have home now. He's a homeless. Now he living on the street. Now he living in the forest. And he living in the monasteries. And he went to teachers, and he went to Alarakalam, Uddaka Ramaputta, many different teachers, and learned from them to develop mind, concentration. And he learned how to achieve Akasa Nanchayatana, infinite space, and Nevasanya Nasanyayatana, no perception, neither no perception. And he learned those all kind of samadhis from all other teachers. And he realized this is not a final realization or achievement. Then he left those teachers until they asked him to stay with them and to lead the group of students. But he rejected those invitations and he left, and he tried to find out himself. Then he started to practice Attakila Yoga, self mortification. And he started to practice torture himself. We learned before in the suttas, right? How he could practice them. This the self mortification. Now there are five ascetics come to help him. The the oldest one of those five ascetics is the Kondanya. Now you remember Kondanya, right? Kondanya is the came to give the name to him, his name in ceremony. And he who said this child will be definitely Buddha. That's the Kondanya. And he heard Siddhartha renunciated the house. Then he also renounced the house and he went to forest with uh, Vappa, Badya, Mahanama, and Asaji, with all other ascetics. Those all other ascetics are the sons of the other the wise scholars. And then those five ascetics came to help Siddhartha. Now Siddhartha practicing mortification, and the five ascetics stay support to him. Then he keep practicing, and he reduce eating, and lie down hot plates, slept on hot plates. So slept on the thrones, something the thrones, sharp things, and he lie down, and he stay in the open area in the summertime, and keep lighting the four sides of fire, and he light the heap of fire around him in the summer, and he stay in the middle by torturing himself. In the summer in India is a deadly, dangerous summer in India even today. In the summer, many of them is dying. Siddhartha was in the open area in the summer, not only that, and he kept lighting around him some fires, and he kept torturing himself. In the winter, in the deep forest, the deep forest, and he was in the naked and torturing himself and stay in the winter open to the air. So, and he keep eating cow dung, and he was keep drinking cow piss. So, and he reduced his meals, didn't take a bath, washing face, brushing teeth, and he said when he touched his head, and his hair come to his hand. When he rub his body, the skin come to his hand to into the fingers. His eyes like deep wells in the dark night, shining the stars in the far. Likewise, his eyeballs were shining in the deep well in the dark. And he said when he touches his stomach and he can feel and touch his spin, back spin, backbones, spine. When he touches his stomach and he said, he touches his spine. So, and his beard was growing. So, then he start to eat only fruits he can find out nearby. And lately he stopped walking around and just uh, pick the fruits and leaves falling under a tree where he lived. Finally, and he stopped even standing up, and he whatever leaves and fruits he can pick up by sitting in the far near hand, reached by hand. And finally, he even stopped eating anything. He's like a skeleton right now. He didn't stop even torturing himself, and to why he torturing himself? Because they believe by torturing oneself can attain to enlightenment. That's why he keep doing that. Because that's the belief. Even today in Indian people believe that. Even today they are practicing those kind of things, torturing themselves to find out purification. And finally Siddhartha decided to stop breathing. Then Siddhartha stopped breathing. Then he became unconsciousness and falling into the ground, almost to die. Then the deities thought he is dead. Everybody thought he is dead. Fortunately, he didn't die, and then he decided and he understood if someone can become enlightened by torturing oneself, by practicing mortification, I supposed to be enlightened. There are no one ever, never practiced torturing himself, but I did, but it didn't happen. It means the torturing oneself is not the way to enlightenment. Then he decided to give up that and he started to practice the wonderful way, significant way, and what him and Buddhism make special. That's called middle path. Majjhima, Majjhima Patipada, middle path. Then he started to decide to stay in the middle, experiencing extreme happiness, experiencing and enjoying, being indulged in happiness and pleasant. And he's supposed to be enlightened as a prince of Siddhartha. And he indulge happiness. He enjoy happiness. Not like you, not like me. As a prince, he is special. And he had all the pleasure, all the joy, all comforts. And he wasn't become enlightened being a prince. Now we got a new prince day 2 3 days ago. Not we, not actually, no, we not got the Britain's got a new king. That's called the uh, coronation of the Prince Charles. Prince Charles was the king, right, in England. His coronation was 2 3 days ago, I think. He's a king, but he's grow old, right? He's old. Old. The queen dead. Then all the princes, all the kings, all the queens in the world is the same like you and me. Maybe even they are miserable sometimes. You know, some people is against the king and the queen in the England. So that's not being a prince or queen, a princess or being a king or queen is not the way to enlightenment. So then the Prince Siddhartha thought, if someone can be enlightened, then I supposed to be as a king or queen, prince. And being tortured in oneself is supposed to be enlightened, then I have to, but I didn't. So then he started to practice middle path. Then he remained himself healthy, not indulge much, and he moderate of his whole meals and everything. Moderation, moderate and stay in the middle and keep practicing. Finally, he came to Bodh Gaya under a Bodhi tree and he started to meditate and keep practicing days of meditated and meditated and he practiced from the breathing meditation and developed concentration, achieve samadhi and achieve a special knowledge, divine eye, divine ear, and the reading others' mind and seeing previous lives. And he all skills and knowledge, special knowledge he achieved by developing concentration. And lately, and he consider and turn into vipassana and he considered to understand the impermanent nature of everything, temporary nature and unsatisfactoriness, and the stressfulness of the attachment and bond, and the freedom, liberation is the detachment, that's the enlightenment. Then he achieved the knowledge of destruction of defilements, asavakya jnana, and attained to Buddhahood. So then he start to teach, and he came to teach five ascetics. Actually, he spent 7 weeks under a Bodhi tree after his enlightenment. He was struggling to be enlightened, right? So then 1 week he stayed in the answers under a tree and experiencing that freedom, experiencing that happiness, experiencing that liberation, and he feel that liberation. It's called Vimutti Sukha, happiness of freedom, happiness of liberation. Then he keep enjoying that his happiness of freedom and liberation for a week under a Bodhi tree. After that, and the second week, and he spent another week to looking at the Bodhi, the tree, and he paid his gratefulness to the tree because that tree helped him to remain sitting and gave the shade, protect him from the wind and from the rain and protect him from the sunshine. So then he pay his great gratitude to the Bodhi tree by looking at the tree without blinking. So that is called Animisalochana Puja, looking at the tree without blinking. So and then spent 7 weeks around the Bodhi tree and finally decided to teach. You know what he realized before he started to teach? And he thought, oh, this teaching is profound. Duddhaso, this is difficult to see. Duranabodo, this is difficult to understand. It is because this is the teaching not encouraging to indulge with happiness and pleasant. This is the teaching is going against to the stream. Um, the stream is flowing into the down. Who is get into that stream is easily flowing into the down because that stream take him. This whole world is going with that stream. What's the stream? It's a five sense experience, five sense of pleasure, enjoyment of the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, and then the whole world going through that. Going through the ill will, going through the hate, going through the greed, going through the lust, going through the pride, it's a whole thing, and whole world flowing with that. But the Buddha said, my teaching is going beyond that, against to that stream. Who want to swim up of the river and I have to make another strong effort. Then Buddha's teaching, my teaching is against to the stream. Then how could these people understand this is the teaching profound, deep, and difficult to see and understand? But then finally Buddha realized there are some people in the world, they are wise enough to understand this teaching. Then he decided to teach. Then he went to five ascetics. Five ascetics didn't believe him, and Buddha asked, I realized, I attained to enlightenment, listen to me. And they didn't want to listen. And the second time Buddha said, I enlightened already. I'm a Buddha. I'm going to teach you, listen to me. And they said, no, they didn't want to listen to Buddha. You see, even they didn't accept Buddha. And finally, Buddha said, do I have ever told you I attain to enlightenment? And they said, no. That's why I'm saying I attain to enlightenment. Listen to me, I'm going to teach you how to attain to enlightenment. And Buddha taught them uh, the way to attain to enlightenment. That real teaching come from the Arya Pariyeshana Sutta. This teaching not come from his first teaching called Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. And his real teaching to five ascetics come from the Arya Pariyeshana Sutta. In the Arya Pariyeshana Sutta, Buddha said, there are two ways of investigation. It's called Arya Pariyeshana and the Anarya Pariyeshana. Arya Pariyeshana means the investigation nobleness, or investigation of the non-nobleness. And Buddha explaining in that sutta what is the investigation of Anarya Pariyeshana. Anarya Pariyeshana, non-noble investigation for non-noble. What's the investigation for non-noble? Okay, and Buddha explained briefly, being nature of born, my nature is the born. Birth is my nature. I born again and again, right? I born again and again. Your nature is born again and again and born again and again. By being by having nature of born again and again, and we keep searching things or persons whose nature have nature born again and again. Who are the who's the nature of born again and again? It is the my nature of myself, and it's the nature of my parents. They are also born again and again. It's the nature of my children. They are born again and again. It is the nature of my brothers and sisters. They are born again and again. It's the nature of my friends and relatives. They are born again and again. And it's the nature of my old servants, my old cows and dogs or cats or whoever, all possessions belong to me, and the nature of them is born again and again. It is the money I used, gems and gold I used, as the nature of them is born again and again. And also Buddha said, having nature of being grow old, and we seeking who have the nature of grow old. Who's the nature of grow old? My nature of growing old, and I'm seeking my whole life of my parents, and they are also the nature growing old. They are the nature of growing old. I'm spending my whole life to taking care of my kids and their nature of also the growing old. And I'm seeking for my brothers and sisters. I spend my whole life to seeking them and their nature of the growing old. And my friends and relatives, they are also growing old. And all my cats and dogs and all my possession monies and golds and gems and they're also growing old. And my nature is getting sick. Then I seek for my whole life. I keep seeking. My parents, they are the nature of getting sick. My kids, they also getting sick. I myself getting sick, and I spend my whole life to seek and taking care of this. My kids, they are also getting sick. And my friends and relatives, they also getting sick. And my cats, dogs, and goats and gems, they also getting uh, damaged. And what is my nature is death. I'm having a nature of dying. And I seek him my whole life. My parents, they have become dying. My kids dying. My brothers and sisters dying. Relatives and friends dying. My monies, golds, and gems are dying and destroying and disappearing, perishing. That's the nature. I myself is being sorrowing, worrying, regretting, sad, and I'm seeking and spend whole life to who is the nature. My parents become sorrow, become worry, grief, sad, and my kids become worried, sad, and sorrow, grief, and my friends and relatives, my old servants, bond servants, and cats and dogs, who are all the nature is grows, become sorrow, sad, become worry. You see, and that is the investigation of non-noble things. Then finally, and Buddha said, my nature, I am the Sankilesha Dhammo Samano Sankilesha Dhammangeva Pariyesati. My nature, I myself become impurified, because I have greed, I have hate, I have delusion, I have pride, conceit, lust, and all the bad stuff is already in my mind. I'm deal with these things, and I also become. I'm living with this greed, hate, delusion, uh, conceit, pride, lust, jealous, envy, and I also spend and investigate my whole life. My parents, they also greed, hate, lust, deluded, pride, conceit, and they are not freed either. And they also deal with them, with these things. And my kids, they also deal with these things. They are not freed from hate, delusion, greed, pride, conceit. And my friends and relatives, born servants, cats, dogs, whatever possessions I have, these all are defiled. As myself, we all equal. And by being equal things, seek in whole life called anarya pariyasana, nani, investigation for non-noble things. And Buddha said instead, you supposed to investigate noble things. And how could we find and we seek and investigate noble things? Seeking an investigation for non-birth, investigation for non-decay, non-growing, investigation for non-getting sick, investigation for non-die, not to die, investigation for not to sorrow, not to worry, and investigation for not to impurify, investigation to purify. And this is the Buddhist way. This is called Arya Pariyeshana, investigation for nobleness. So this is what is Buddhist teaching. And Buddha taught these things to five ascetics, and they attained to enlightenment. Um, and Buddha taught this whole teaching to the whole world, and this is what is Buddhism. So before we end up the session, you have to, if you have to anything to share with us, and please, you're welcome to share, or if you have any questions.
Monte, I have no questions, but it's very beautiful to recall the enlightenment of the Buddha and the struggles that he went through in order to become the Buddha. And we too have struggles. So our struggles might take an hour, a lifetime, 1,000 lifetimes, but still, we still want to go through that struggle in order to gain enlightenment. So to hear the terrible struggles that the Buddha went through in order to be enlightened is inspiring.
Yeah. That's the wonderful Buddha's message to the world, to Arya Pariyeshana, investigation for nobleness. And this whole world, we all do the investigation for non-noble things. Not only this life, all the lifetimes in the sansara. So then he did the same thing. Then finally he attained to Buddhahood, and he ended up that. That's the message. So
Um, Lisa, did you put Bonte's number in, or was that your number, your telephone number that you put?
that's her number, I think.
Oh, it's her
No,
number.
my number is just for people who want to go to Sri Lanka.
Oh, right. Okay,
But
thank you.
for making offering to Bante, use Bante's phone number.
Phone number, right. And where is Bonte's phone number? Ding. Want to stick it in? Want to put Bonte's phone number into the chat?
I can't remember his number.
Okay, I will. Okay. So
I'm so confused.
what do you have to share? Okay, do you have any question? So, any questions or anything to share?
Okay, thank you for the phone number.
Okay, you all good?
Pretty good.
Okay, yeah, let me give you some blessings from this Vesak day before we end up the session. Um, uh, we still have another 7 minutes, so we're going to do homage to the Buddha by chanting the verses Buddha's qualities, Itipiso Bhagava, and then the qualities of the Dhamma and Sangha. Then I'm going to give you some chantings to blessings, and we're going to transfer merits to the departed ones and to the ghost and to the deities. Then we're going to share these merits with all sentient beings in the world, and we wish them all to be free from uh, free and liberation, freedom, and enlightenment. And then and we also share these merits with our parents, family members, and we may wish them to be happy, healthy, and live long, happily, peacefully, without afflictions and attain to enlightenment. So may we all be able to live happily, peacefully, without afflictions, and attain to the enlightenment. So let's homage to the Buddha and worship the Buddha. With keep chanting with me. If you're not familiar with this chanting, and just keep listening, and then homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itipiso bhagavārahang samma sambuddho Vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manussanam buddho bhagavati. Homage to the Dhamma. Sakkhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko ehi passiko panayiko paccattam veditabbo vinyuhiti. Homage to the Sangha. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang cattari purisa yugani attha purisa puggala esa bhagavato savaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo anuttarang punyakhetang lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu sasanang आकाशत्था च बुम्मत्था देवानागा महिद्दिका पुण्यन्तं अनुमोदित्वा चिरं रक्षन्तु देशनम् आकाशत्था च बुम्मत्था देवानागा महिद्दिका पुण्यन्तं अनुमोदित्वा चिरं रक्षन्तु मम परम् सभीतियो विभज्जन्तु सबरोगो विनश्यतु माते भवत्वन्तरायो सुखी दीर्घायुको भव भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वबुद्धानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वधर्मानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वसङ्घानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते
Sadhu,
by the blessings
sadhu.
of the Buddha, by the blessings of the Dhamma, by the blessings of the Sangha, by the power of the merits we accumulated today, and you live happily with your family members and be happy, healthy, live happily, peacefully, without any afflictions. All the troubles and all the uh, confusion and uncomfortable things, and may they all uh, be dispelled, disappeared, and all happiness and peace and united may arise, and you live happily, peacefully. And finally, may we all be able to attain to enlightenment. May all good wishes come true. अभिवादिनशीलिस् नित्यं वर्धापचायिनो चत्तारो धम्मा वर्धन्ति आयुवन्नो सुखं बलम् आयुरारोग्यसम्पत्ति सग्गसम्पत्तिमेव च अतो निब्बानसम्पत्तिर्मिनाते समिज्यतु साधु
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu. Oh,
Thank you, Bante.
Okay, thank you.
oh.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
And we'll
everybody.
see you next week.
Yes, okay. Uh, Bante, maybe next time we can have the salutations in English also.
Say again? Ah, yeah.
I s-
Yeah, yeah.
Next week we can have everything in English as in Pali and then English too.
Yeah. We can
I think
share with this with our friends to stand with
I
us.
think it would be good to do.
Yeah, 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 yes. That's
Okay. Bante, thank you.
thank you, Michael, and
We'll
thank
see
you.
you,
Okay, thank you, God, and Ching
Lord.
and his iPhone.
An iPhone too, yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Okay.
just keep it. We have gonna have a ceremony here. Yeah, that's four. Yeah, just keep it. No, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Give more, a little bit more. Yeah, yeah. Okay.